Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to another Redmond Roundup. People, boys, girls, we are here to talk about a load of stuff. And basically, when I'm talking about stuff, there was just something that came out the other day it didn't fill me with joy, I'll say that much. And I'm not going to say it made me sad because it didn't. But it just made me kind of put things into context. So I'm going to talk about that. We're going to talk about loads of football topics, as we always do on the Redmond Roundup. You're all loving this show. It's like not a daily show, but it's like an every other day thing. So we get it there and thereabouts, do you know what I mean? But continue smashing the likes, continue subscribing, and I will most certainly, not a problem, continue bringing these videos for you, mate. Because at the end of the day, you are the reason I do these videos. And I know that's like a cliche thing for a YouTuber to say, but you actually are. These videos are just well more fun when it has your interaction in there. So make sure, as always, you're interacting in the comments down below. But without further ado, let's get right into today's Redmond Roundup. So, boys, to kick off today's Redmond Roundup, I had to start off about Virgil van Dijk. And I had to start off about Virgil van Dijk because I haven't talked about my man Virg in a while, and you all know I love man like Virg. And also, if you hear like noises and banging in the background, there's like shit being done to the house. So basically, if you hear that, that's that. But we cleared that now, yeah? Anyway, Virgil van Dijk. So there was news that came out the other day about how Virgil van Dijk, he himself has said that he wants to get back for the Euros. He himself has said if he is fit at the end of the season, if he makes a return to first team training, which, you know, if you actually like see clips of him right now, he's getting there faster. And obviously as Liverpool fans, that's music to our ears. But if he's then coming out and saying, oh, but the first football that I'm going to be playing when I'm back from this absolutely long-term injury is going to be for my national team in the Euros, it leads me to ask a few questions, but from a few different perspectives. Now, what's the questions that I want to ask as a Liverpool fan to Virgil van Dijk? Say you're Virgil van Dijk and I'm talking to you. This is what I'd say. Virg, with all due respect, my mates, I understand that you're, 28, 29, something like that. So you're getting into that point of your career now where you're in your prime and you're in your peak and whatnot. And you want to use them peak years to spend trying to win your national team a trophy. You know, if you look at the Euros, especially, and you look at Netherlands and the squad they've got, don't get me wrong, they seem pretty well set to have a good squad for the next few years. And let's be honest, Virgil van Dijk, even though he's like 28, 29, he's still probably going to be a world-class, maybe even elite centre-back still when he's like 33, 34. That's just the way it is. But that's not what he's going to be thinking about. He's going to be thinking about, or this what he could be thinking about. He could be thinking about right now and thinking, if I can make it to this Euros, then there's just nothing that's going to keep me sidelined. Because as we know about Virgil, not only is he one of the best players in the world on the ball, but he's also one of the best players in the world off the ball. And the leadership skills that he possesses is quite strong. And not only for Liverpool, even though he's not the captain of Liverpool, he doesn't need to be. He doesn't need to wear an armband to display the leadership that he does in our team. And I think every Liverpool fan, or I know every Liverpool fan and neutral, can agree with that if you watch Virgil van Dijk. And the same does not go when you talk about the national team. He's a leader in that side as well. I think he's actually the captain for the national team though, so it's like another level of responsibility. Therefore, he wants to set the example. He wants to play for his national side. And if his national side go on to be successful, he wants to be a part of that. I can't blame him. My man's won the Champions League. He's won the Premier League. And he wants to win fucking national trophies, mate. So as sound as all that is, this is where my fucking stupid, selfish little white ass comes in and starts saying, no, Virg, you don't need to play. You don't need to play. Even all that put into account, you don't need to play. Just wait for pre-season, wait for Tranmere. If you wait for Tranmere, you'll have a marvellous time. You'll probably score a goal against Tranmere. Imagine that. Imagine scoring a goal against bloody Tranmere Rovers. So as a Liverpool fan, I would love Virg to miss the Euros. But I also do understand, is he, like, if I'm a Dutch supporter and I don't support Liverpool, and I actually care about, you know, the Netherlands doing well in certain competitions, you're damn fucking right, in the name of Ricky, that I want to see Virgil van Dijk, our best player, by the way, starting in that same competition. There's no doubt about it. So I'm very interested to hear what you've got to say in the comments down below about this situation. I'm in two minds because I like to give the respect to the player because I know the athletes and I know the winners. Therefore, I know, and also competitors. And with all them things put into one, The competitive side of things means he's going to want to get back from injury, and not only want to get back from injury, but do very well coming back from injury. The only reason why I'm bringing up that this is concerning is because there's been doctors and medical staff coming out basically saying if he is back for the Euros, there's a good chance he could maybe prolong his injury, could get worse, he'll be out for longer, and that's pretty much what I don't want. So we'll have to see how things unfold there. But let me know what you would do if you were Liverpool in this case, because obviously I think the final decision does come down to Virgil van Dijk. Frank de Boer, the Netherlands manager, does also have a say in the whole situation, but I feel like if you're Liverpool and you do feel like you can have an influence, and you had the choice of whether Virg went or not, say if Virg wanted to as well, and you're the manager, and you get to make that choice, let me know in the comments down below what you would do. Because if I'm the manager and Virg wants to go, I can sit here and say no all I want, but it's different circumstances when you know the player and you know what he wants and you know what he can do. But let me know in the comments down below what you think. Now, let's talk. Before we talk about any more Liverpool things, let's talk about Gareth Bale, because even though I'm a Liverpool fan, and this is kind of a Liverpool show, it's also a Premier League show. We just talk about mostly Liverpool things. But I have to talk about Gareth Bale. If you didn't think I was going to turn on this camera today and not talk about Gareth Bale, then you are rather insane. Now, to my right, I do have a quote from Gareth Bale, and I keep calling him Bale for some reason, and I don't know why, because it's not even that funny. But basically, he came out yesterday, and this is from Sky Sports themselves, and he said, I came to Spurs to play football, but into the Euros, I wanted to be match fit. So it's one of them things where basically he's come out and said that he joined Spurs to get minutes so he can be fit for the Euros, as if he stayed at Real Madrid, he wouldn't have been getting an extortionate amount of minutes. Therefore, he wouldn't have been as match fit for the Euros, more likely to get an injury, let's say, these type of things. Now, is this a 1 year loan deal? Yes. What's the purpose of a 1 year loan deal? A purpose of the 1 year loan deal is you go to the club and then you go back to your old club after the first season. Not rocket science. So that's fine until that point. But then when you start to delve just a little bit deeper into context, I personally, not as a Liverpool fan, couldn't give two shiny shite as a Liverpool fan, as a football fan, and I know people like to banter Tottenham, and rightly so, they're a banter club, but this for me just rubs me the wrong way. I'm not going to lie to you, and the reason why it does, because like I said, and I brought up what is a loan deal. You could join the club for this, for however long you agree for, and then you go back to your old club. That's important to mention, because all Bale is basically saying there, I came here to play football. I thought that was kind of known when I first joined. We all did know that, Gareth Bale, you're not wrong there, mate. The only reason why I may have, or may not have an issue, well, I do have an issue, but other football fans might not, is because you're going to a club where you are a club legend. Like, say whatever you want about Spurs, banter Spurs, or you want whoever is more of a club legend, all fucking irrelevant. Gareth Bale is a club legend, mate, and the way he's done this is Wales, golf, Real Madrid and Spurs, and the way I know that he's done it that way is because when you actually put it into context, mate, he's literally, he's not doing any running against Arsenal Football Club in one of the biggest games of not only the season, but one of the biggest games whenever them two teams meet, and you see Gareth Bale doing no running. Has Gareth Bale been withdrawn of game time from Mourinho this season? Yes. But there's also been times on the pitch where he's performing for Spurs to where that decision has been most certainly rectified and most certainly been looked at and analysed. And it was, in hindsight at least, a good decision. You know, granted, he's had a few good games as well. But they were a lot of them at least were in games where, if you're Gareth Bale, they should be your bread and butter, no questions asked. If you're facing Farmers and you're one of the best footballers in the world, it is very much your duty to fucking make them look like Farmers. And Gareth Bale, even though he's done okay at that at times, when you put his wage bills into consideration, when you put into the fact he's a club legend, and when you put into the fact of the timing of this very quote right here, Spurs are not in the greatest run of form, they need a little bit of light right now, and you're here saying, oh, I'm going to go back to Real Madrid. But it weren't what you said, Gareth Bale. It was more so the way Gareth Bale said it. Feel free to disagree in the comments down below, because I do get there's two sides to this story. But for me, it just seems a bit like one of them things where it's fine to use a club to get more minutes. That is absolutely sound. But I feel like there's better ways of coming out about them situations and them truths, basically. The truth can be harsh sometimes. Gareth Bale has done that. He says he wants to go back to Real Madrid. Do I think that would be beneficial for him? Other than the fact he's going to add more trophies to his cabinet? Probably not. I don't think it makes Gareth Bale any more of a legend. I do think Gareth Bale is on the other side of that hill. But I do also know Gareth Bale can be doing a lot more. And not only a lot more, I know he can do a lot more for the wages that Spurs are actually paying him. So as a football fan, and if I was a Spurs fan, or if this was a club legend doing this to Liverpool, you're damn right I'm turning on this camera and I'm fuming, mate. So maybe I've misread it. Again, I'm open-minded and I will listen to your things in the comments. But let me know what you think about this whole situation with Gareth Bale. Do you think a move back to Real Madrid would be the best case scenario for him? And do you see this as just kind of a snaky thing from him? Because again, a loan deal is a loan deal. We know what the purpose of a loan deal is when you sign that contract, but there's just context, and when you put context in there with it, I think it's a bit fishy, man. But like I said, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Here's a little stat attack for you before I end this video. Actually, Nat Phillips won more aerial duels than anyone else in the Premier League. Can you believe it? I can't, because... I can, because it's one of them things, mate, where if there is a meteoroid, or whatever the fucking word is, one of them big rocks that just come flying to Earth, you know that Nat Phillips is going to get in the way of that and just go, fuck off, mate, and just head it right back. Just saying, nah, mate, sayonara, hasta la vista, baby, and all of that business. Nat Phillips, that's just what he does. Do you want me to tell you why? Because Nat Phillips doesn't give a fuck. He will take your misses, and if you try taking his, he will head you into an oblivion. There's no doubt about it. This man right here, yeah, he is actually a Champions League winner. He is actually a Premier League winner. Yes, granted, he didn't have much to do in them things, but still, it's like he's playing as if he is one of them things. He's playing as if he's like a proper experienced player. He's 24, granted, but he's been 24 in like a 21-year-old team for years. So I just think I'm happy to see that, you know, just someone has came out of our academy completely out the blue, clearly was someone that we were going to go and sell, because that's what academies are. They are a product for the club to be able to make a profit off players. It's not one of them things where every academy player is meant to become this well-rounded superstar for your first team. No, sometimes you want to make a little profit on them. You got them for free, you sell them for a couple of million. Core business, people. Welcome to the real world. It's one of them things where with Nat Phillips, he was never supposed to be that. Even at the start of the season, my man's supposed to be trying to find a move to the Championship, and you're telling me now he's dominating strikers. Oh, by the way, in the Premier League, you know, one of the most physical leagues in the world, some of the more direct long ball football that you see being played, and Nat Phillips is bossing it like there's no tomorrow. Is he the most technically gifted on the ball? No, but it seems like when that man, kid, whatever the fuck you want to call him, is oozing confidence, it helps him just tremendously. And when he's playing around better players, you can see he takes advice, he takes the experience, and he uses that to become much, much better. And that's why I like Nat Phillips. He's just added a different dynamic to his game. Even the same with his centre-back partner, Ozan Kabak. Like, would you sign Ozan Kabak on a permanent right now? Because it's a question that needs to be asked. Has to. Has he been world class? No, but he weren't meant to be. So you've got to ask the question: has he been better to your expectations to this point? Did you think he was going to come in and be a world class centre back? Bear in mind, he was playing for 20th place Schalke. Bear in mind, he is 20 years of age. Bear in mind, when we were scouting Ozan Kabak, we were scouting him to be a 4th choice centre back and not a 1st choice. Keep all of that in mind and then come up with the answer of whether or not, when it comes to the summer, would you activate, I think, the £18 million that we would have to pay for Ozan Kabak? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyway, people, before I round up this video, a few of the Redmond Army members have been saying to me, or basically trying to come up with solutions about this Genie situation. So for those who don't know or haven't seen my recent videos, Genie is more likely than not on his way to Barcelona, or, you know, just basically another club, as it doesn't seem like he's going to re-sign a contract with Liverpool. If that is the case, and if that proves to be true, of course we're going to need to replace the man that is Genie Wijnaldum. Now, a few people have been throwing names into the hat. New signings, like, you know, Bissouma's been a name that I've seen thrown out there, and many others as well. But then people then start, say if we weren't to buy a new midfielder to replace Gini Wijnaldum, or what if we don't need to buy a midfielder to replace Gini Wijnaldum? Now hear me out, I'm not saying this is what I think is right, but this is what you, the Redmond Army, or some people within the Redmond Army have been suggesting. How does Naby Keita and Marco Grujic sound as a replacement to Gini Wijnaldum? How does maybe Curtis Jones sound as a replacement to Gini Wijnaldum? Kind of FSG mentality, isn't it? Using one of the players you've already got in your current squad and counting that as a new signing. But what if the real answer is just directly under our nose? Could Naby Keita, Marco Grujic and Curtis Jones replace Gini Wijnaldum? Let me answer that question. Let's start off with Naby Keita, for example. Probably the better, more established players of them three. I would say Naby Keita couldn't replace Gini Wijnaldum. Why? Because what does Gini Wijnaldum bring that not many people do? Reliability. Naby Keita is not a reliable player in terms of turning up to work. No matter how good he is, and I give Naby Keita his props for how good he is, believe me, people, he doesn't always turn up to work. Gini Wijnaldum is at work. He's the first to work. He's the last to leave, and it's one of them things. That's just the way Gini Wijnaldum is. So, Naby Keita couldn't, for me at least, replace Gini Wijnaldum. Definitely not. Curtis Jones, too soon to say. Too soon to say for Curtis Jones. Don't get me wrong. I like Curtis Jones, and I also like what he brings to the table technical ability-wise. I feel like technically, on the ball, he's actually probably better than Gini Wijnaldum. But there's so much more that comes with experience that I feel like Gini Wijnaldum brings a lot more to the table, especially on that left-hand side of the midfield, and the fact he can come in to the 6 and cover there. So I don't think Curtis Jones is quite ready to replace Gini Wijnaldum. And then Marco Grujic. Well, what's one thing that I love Gini, or what's one of my favourite qualities about Gini, is attitude. And as far as I'm concerned, Gini is one of the most beautiful, most happy people I've ever seen. I've met him once, and even when I met him, he'd been stopped by like 4 people previous. And then my fucking fathead ass stopped him, and he was just the nicest person ever. He gave me his time of day, he gave me respect, and he was like that with everyone else. Do you get what I'm saying? That's attitude, that's a leader. Bear in mind, he is also a big leader in the dressing room, Gini Wijnaldum. When you look at Marco Grujic, does he bring all them same qualities? No, and he doesn't always have to. But when you're talking about replacing Gini Wijnaldum, I don't think Marco Grujic has shown anything, attitude-wise, or even football ability-wise, to show that he's going to go above Gini. He's not as versatile, he's not as well going forward, and is he as good in a system as Gini Wijnaldum is? Time will tell, but right now, I don't think he is. So out of them 3 players I've just mentioned, out of Curtis, Naby and friggin' Marco Grujic, who's the more likely one out of them 3 to replace Gini? Probably Naby Keita. That being said, conclusion, fucking just re-sign Gini Wijnaldum, because he's underrated to fuck, and he's underrated by whoever it is making this decision not to give him a new contract. Do you know what I mean? It's unreal. But that's my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean Gini is definitely the answer to sign him on a new contract. I'm just letting you know my opinion. And only time will tell if I am right or I'm wrong. If we evidently begin to miss Gini, then I'm just going to be the person to say I told you so straight away, because I've been saying this for months. Gini's massive to this team. Even when he's out of form, you've got to bear in mind what he brings to the system is massive, huge. So, I had to bring up Gini before the end of this video. It was what it was. Saw a lot of people in the Redmond Army bringing that up. But people, thank you for watching this episode of the Redmond Roundup. It's been a good one. I've enjoyed this one. Let me know if you're enjoying the series. And if you are, as always, just smash the likes, as that'll help. And it'll make me want to do more. Do you know what I mean, people? So, big up your damn selves. Have a marvellous day. And I will see you all in a bizzle. Peace out.